I told you about President Obama's drone strike program, and as the New York Times is reporting, they do signature strikes on unknown militants. In other words, we're bombing people that we have no idea who they are, and that's why we've killed hundreds of civilians in those strikes. And I was reminded today of what President Obama said before he became president, when he was campaigning back in 2008 about civil liberties. And we've got the tape. It's a doozy. Remember this guy?
When you suspend habeas corpus, which has been a principle dating before even our country, it's the foundation of Anglo-American law, which says very simply, if the government grabs you, then you have the right to at least ask, why was I grabbed? And say, maybe you've got the wrong person. You know, the reason you have that safeguard is because we don't always have the right person.
Oops. So what has President Obama done since he got in office? First of all, obviously, he tried but could not close Guantanamo Bay. But even if they had closed Guantanamo Bay, he had put out an order immediately saying, look, we will be trying some of these top-level al-Qaeda figures. Others who are innocent we will be releasing. Very little of that has happened, by the way. Even the people we think are innocent are still at Gitmo, most of them, the great majority of them, that were there when President Obama came in. But he also said some of them are in the middle ground where we will not try them, nor do we think they're innocent, so we will not release them. We will keep them indefinitely without ever giving them a trial. The exact opposite of what you just saw him say back in 2008. But that's not all. Look, he signed the National Defense Authorization Act. It codifies indefinite detentions. Our military can grab people, maybe even U.S. citizens. Now, Obama says, I won't personally grab U.S. citizens, but the president does have the authority to do that and keep them indefinitely without a trial. But even if you believe Obama is this great guy, oh no, he would never do that to U.S. citizens. He himself says, and the law clearly states, oh, we can definitely do it to non-citizens. So we can grab anybody we like and never give them a trial. Never give them a trial. Keep them with the military the entire time. Well, what did candidate Obama think of that back in 2008?
So the reason that you have this principle is not to be soft on terrorism. It's because that's who we are. That's what we're protecting. Don't mock the Constitution. Don't make fun of it. Don't suggest that it's un-American to abide by what the founding fathers set up. It's worked pretty well for over 200 years.
Oh, that hurts. Don't mock the Constitution. Well, later, President Obama would go on to do exactly that, where he takes away your rights to ever receive a trial, the foundation of Anglo-Saxon law, as you heard the president say. By the way, it gets even slightly worse, because in that same New York Times article, and I have read it now in many different sources, they say that the administration is less likely to capture people because they don't know what they would do with them. Now, normally what we would do is we would try folks. If we thought they were terrorists plotting against the United States, we would have some evidence as to why we thought that, right? I hope they have some evidence. Are you killing people randomly? You tell me you're very careful with who you target, right? So obviously you have some evidence. We would try them. President Obama says, no, well, we can't do that because the Republicans would give me too much grief. I can't bring them to the U.S. I'm scared of the Republicans. That's what he claims. So I don't know what to do with them. I can't put them in Gitmo. I can't try them. So I would have to indefinitely detain them. So New York Times and other sources are saying, basically, there is an implicit understanding, let's just kill them. That's what the drone strikes are about. Now, some of those drone strikes would happen because people were hard to capture in the first place. But there's this well-documented story of a guy in Somalia who they thought they could capture, but they thought, we don't know where to put him. Forget it, let's just do a missile strike. And by the way, there's also that little case of Osama bin Laden where he didn't have a gun anywhere near him, and they shot him anyway. Now everybody says, it's bin Laden, who cares? I mean, everybody's happy bin Laden's dead. But apparently, our system is so broken that we don't even want to capture anybody because it would show what a hypocrite President Obama is, because he wouldn't try them. He'd keep them indefinitely. So now we take the extra step of just killing them. Here's a guy who was a constitutional law professor, ran as a guy who was going to protect the Constitution, and for the millionth time has done no such thing. So people ask me why I'm upset with Obama. If you knew what I know, which is all the details of all these stories, whether it's on things like the grand bargain and domestic policy or whether it's things like civil liberties, I'm not sure you'd like him either, because he seems like a guy who's only interested in his own political career, and all that ideology and principle be damned.